Now, whose stupid idea was it to get this big buffoon out of the box?
I don't know, Starscream, but I think he did something to me.
Welcome back to BubbaChuck14, and if it's your first time here, click on the subscribe button, click on the icon to subscribe to my channel for more Transformers and pop culture videos like this. And I hope you give this video a thumbs up to help out my channel. And of course, as you've seen in the intro, we are taking a look at the Seeker Commander JETFIRE or Skyfire in G1. So let's take a look at the box. And here we're taking a look at the great artwork at the front of the box of JETFIRE, and we've got Omega Supreme over here, and then at the side of the box that regular Siege Warfare Cybertron artwork, and then at the back of the box you got the product shots of Skyfire slash JETFIRE. And as you can see, he's got different looks. Got the G1 accurate look and then the G1 toy look, and he's got a bunch of armors over here and a bunch of guns, and he transforms in 36 steps. Then you've got the Ark, that's the one the Autobots were on when they moved to Earth, and as you can see here, he is Commander class. And then we take a look at the top, it's just a Transformers Warfare Cybertron. This is a pretty big box, then a bunch of writings, and that's it for the box. And here we have him out. He looks so awesome. And as you can see, he's got his instruction book. It's folded out, pretty big instruction book because it's a pretty big figure. And as you can see, this is how he comes out of the box. And here is JETFIRE with all the accessories that comes in the box, aside from the very big instruction sheet that I've shown you. So if you look at the instruction sheet, like all of his weaponry have their individual names. So before that, this figure comes with these blast effects. So there's 6 separate blast effects which you can combine like this into a one big blast effect. So you have 2 of these blast effects you can use in whatever way you want. You want it individually or as one big blast effect. And then first off, we're gonna take a look at his photon missile sky launcher. That's what this is. The name is on the instruction sheet. So you can have both of them individual, or you can combine them by doing this. Push down the main center peg, and then these have pegs that will lock into the other one. So here, so you can combine both guns, and it has a peg as well on the other side. So he's got this double-barreled gun which looks really amazing. And then you have his Sky Shield aerial armor. That's what this is, as it says in the instruction sheet. And if you open this, which we can use this in the robot mode, and you can see here he has his Sky Shield battle mask. And then we can put this thing on the jet mode by folding down these wings, and then on the bottom of the armor you have these 2 tabs that will tab into here, as well as these small ones that will tab into here. So you have that one now, and before we tab that into there, we'll take a look at the other weapons, which is this one, the radiograph booster according to the instructions, and you can tab this on any ports in the jet, or you can put them here at the bottom. So this part slides to this part, and then this tab will tab into the side of the cannon over here. So you do that on both sides. And that's it. And then the instructions also show you to tab all of these missiles into this part, but how I display this is I just put this on the top. So that's how that mega cannon armory on the top would look like. These small ones are called the photon missiles, and there's holes here which I use and tab these guys into this side. Or you have an option, you fold down this part and then you take down the peg and you can put down the missiles here, which I like better. So I like them better that way. And last but not the least, you have these two big rockets, and they're called the jet boost particle beam cannons. So I guess they're not rockets, they're beam cannons. And what I do with this is, as you can see the holes over here, I tab them onto the side or top of the jet, and that's how I armor up my JETFIRE in jet mode. Really amazing figure. And according to the instruction, this part is called the Turbo Thruster Booster Pack, and it also has one more playability factor in this one. If you have Spike from the MP10 and you have some headmasters like this Hot Rod Headmaster and Cups Headmaster, so we take out the armor first, and then this part on the top, you can lift this part up. Let's take out the missiles. So when you lift up this part, it can reveal on the inside of the Turbo Thruster Pack, there's two slots for your headmasters to sit in, and they can fit in there really nice. So as you can see, the headmasters fit good in there. Or even, let's try Spike, can fit in there good and nice. And you can close up the Turbo Thruster Pack and have them sitting in there piloting, or they co-pilot JETFIRE, or they serve as passengers. And it's really amazing, one of the amazing play factors. And the last but not the least is you can open this part of the jet to reveal an engine block. But you remove this engine block and you can fit Spike in there, and he can pilot JETFIRE flying through the skies. And you can insert these blast effects on the thrusters or on the guns, and they really look amazing. And I love how this figure is having all these playabilities, and you can fold up the landing gear. Really amazing figure. So another playability factor is you have these two pegs over here, and then you push this part and it will reveal another two pegs on the side like that. And these, you can use this and have your other Autobots like Hound. They can hitch a ride on Skyfire. Just like in the cartoon, You can also use the other pegs. So you can use like 4 Autobots to hang on to Jetfire. Like that. Really amazing figure. The playability factor is quite great. As you can see, they can hang on to Jetfire. Before I forget, there's also one more awesome factor about this guy. And if you've seen the Netflix show, he was first the Decepticon. So if you push this Autobot insignia over here, you can have him as a Decepticon. And as now he is a Decepticon, it's time to show him off with his Seeker Squadron. And as you can see, he looks really fabulous with all the Seekers. You can see he looks so amazing with all the Seekers, with Starscream, Skywarp, and Hotlink. They look really good together, and that's how they scale up. I love how they look. They look so amazing, and for me he looks awesome as a Seeker commander. And I think I will display him in the Decepticon faction. But even if I'm going to display him as a Decepticon, I'm also gonna show him as an aerial Autobot commander, as one of the commanders of the Autobot Air Force, and that is the aerial bots. And yes, before we show him off with the aerial bots, let's convert him back into an Autobot, and just turn around that insignia, and now he is an Autobot. And here he is with all the other aerial bots. They really look awesome together as well. So he is a Cybertronian jet, and the aerial bots are Earth jets, so they are considerably smaller than Jetfire, so that's how they look like, and they look amazing as a squadron. And we've shown them off, and it's time to show him off with all the other Autobots in my collection in the Siege Warfare Cybertron. And first off, we will show him off with Earthrise Leader Class Optimus Prime. That's how they scale together. They really look awesome with his Autobot leader. And then you've got Ironhide as well. And then you've got Bumblebee and Brawn, the mainstays of G1 cartoon. And of course, we have another red guy here in Sideswipe. They really look together as a unit, as an Autobot. And with that out of the way, it's time to transform Jetfire into his robot mode. And now it's time to transform this awesome looking jet into his robot mode. Fold down these top wings, and then on the bigger wings, you flip down this tab, and then there's a hole here that will tab into this hole, into this tab. Then you fold this down, do this thing on the other side, that, and fold it down. And then with that out of the way, just we untab this front tabs over here. As you can see, those tab into the sides, and then you just push these two exhausts out, and then we fold up the landing gears, and we'll take care of the legs first. What you do is you lift this top part, and then you pull it up, and these will just untab from the back thrusters over here. And now we can split the two legs, and then what you do is you just fold this side panels up, and then you just accordion the legs down, And then if you can see at the side, there's a hole and there's a tab over here, and that will tab into place like that. Same thing on the other side. So you straighten out the legs, and then on these two thrusters, you just untab them. So these are the tabs that hold it together. There's a hole here, and then this one will just slide into his lower leg. Same thing on the other side. And then you've got the legs done. Now that the legs are straightened out, you just take out the toes, the front, and then the heel part. Do the same thing on the other foot. And the back heels offer great support for this really huge figure. Now that we've finished the lower body, it's time to fix the upper part. And now we just fold up the wings like this. Then you fold this backpack part up, and that will finish up the back. And then on the front part of the figure, you just leave this. You leave this front part out of the way. Then you untab this front part of his arms, because there's a hole. If you can see here, there's a hole that tabs into there. Then you just pull it out, then straighten it up. And if you see on this part, there's a small tab that will line it up over here. And let's do this same thing on the other side. Make sure the shoulders are lined up, and as you can see, it's a really big figure. And then you fold down the nose cone, and as you fold it down, the head will pop out. And then you fold this front part like this, and then these two tabs will tab and slide into the back part like that. And then you turn his head around, and then this chest part will just tab in like that. Same thing on the other side, and as you can see, there are tabs here that'll tab into the hole over here. And you have his chest done. You only need the arms. You fold down that part, and then you accordion it elbow down. You open this part, which will take out his fist, and then you fold this down, and the tab here will tab into the hole over here. And that will finish up his arms. We'll do the same thing on the other side. Fold this down, and then just accordion it. Down, and then you fold out this fist, fold this down, and lock the fists. And here we've got this awesome looking Commander class Jetfire in his robot form, and we will give him his double barrel gun. And as you can see here in the fist, it's really cool, because if you see here, if you open up his fist, that tab for the gun will disappear, so you can have him grab anything without that peg for the gun interfering. But if you close up his fist, as you can see, that peg will reappear, and you can insert that gun right back into his fist. Really amazing figure and really awesome engineering. The only thing missing from this figure is a waist swivel, but his articulation is really awesome. And if you're asking about all his other accessories, where do we put them? So according to the instructions, these small missiles, you have to peg them here on the top of the wings. And then these big missiles, they have to tab on the side of the backpack. So you have this hole over here, which will tab into the sides. And that's how it's supposed to look like. And then this armor, you take out the face shield, and this one changes the whole dynamic of Jetfire. So this one is really reminiscent of the G1 Jetfire, and that tab over here will tab into his head over here, in the front of his head, and it tabs in really securely, which gives him another look. And it's really awesome how this Jetfire looks like with that armored up face. And then these chest armor, there's slots over here, which on the front of his chest you pull out these two tabs, and they really tab in really securely when you put them on. So you just line it up and you tab it onto his chest. Now we've got Jetfire all armored up and really looking awesome. As you can see here, those tabs and those ankle rocker joints really work awesome. And you still have these double-barreled guns, which would tab on the sides of his arms, on the holes over here. So if you've seen the Netflix Transformers War for Cybertron, he has that laser blade that comes out on his arm. And since I don't have that, what I do is I make a substitute for it, and this is how it looks like. You tab in both missiles like this, and looks like he's got this shoulder lance which you can tab into his arm. So if you don't have that blade, that's one of a substitute that you can do for it. Really awesome figure, and we'll do that same thing on the other side. And that's the fully armored up Jetfire. Really awesome. And now that we've armored him up, it's time to take a look at his articulation. Mic check 1 2. So for articulation, the head can turn round 360, can look up that far, then can't look down that much, and then his arms can turn around 360 but just hampered by those wings. And then the elbow has a 90-degree bend, go straight that way. Wrist articulation, elbows swivel, then the fist can only go that way and that way. Then no waist swivel, the legs can split that far, then can kick forward that far, can kick backward that far, hampered by those backpack thrusters. And then 90-degree on the knee, and then thigh swivel, the thighs can rotate that. Then got that ankle articulation, which is really awesome. Now that we've checked out all his articulation, it's time for all the comparisons. So I removed all his body armor and stuff, and if you're wondering if I'm going to display him as an Autobot or a Decepticon, you guessed it, I'm displaying him as a Decepticon. But if he's wearing these chest armor, they'll probably display him as an Autobot, and I would probably display him as the Seeker Commander. And let's show him off with all the other Seekers. And here he is with Skywarp, Hotlink, then Thundercracker, and then Starscream. They really look awesome. I'm gonna get a bunch more Seekers just coming up in my next future videos. And of course, we have him with Lord Megatron, his commander. They really look awesome and they scale awesome together. Now you've seen him with all the other Decepticons. It's time to show him off with the Autobots, because he's an Autobot in G1 and he's also an Autobot in the Siege Netflix show. So first off, we show him with a Autobot Air Force Combiner, and that's none other than Superion. And it's really funny how he is taller than the Combiner. As you can see, this guy is pretty big and hefty. Superion is much smaller than him, and I don't recall Superion and Jetfire or Skyfire in the same scenes in the G1 cartoons. And now we show him with Ironhide, who wasn't in the Siege show. Haven't seen him, so we have him with Sideswipe, and then the smaller Autobots, Brawn, and of course Bumblebee from G1, and then also one of the Earthrise Autobots, the smaller ones, Cliff Jumper, and as you can see how they scale together. And of course, last but not least, Autobot Commander Optimus Prime. So that's the review for Commander Class Jetfire, and I'm really happy to have this figure in my collection, and I'm happy how he looks like in the display. What about you guys? Would you display him as an Autobot or a Decepticon? Thank you guys for watching, and as always, do it with style or don't do it at all.